am Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator, the best of the best, the one and only Mr. Finance.
Remember to hit subscribe right now. Subscribe. Hey guys, how you guys doing? This is Keon Carniff, also known as Mr. Finance. Like I promised you, right? I was gonna come on here today and I was gonna share some good knowledge and some information with you about financial literacy. And it's important for us to understand how to build a proper and strong financial foundation. Now, one of the biggest things about financial education is that it's misunderstanding. It probably seems like it's complicated, but it's not. Before we get into all that though, I just want to get into a little bit about who I am and a little bit about our company as well. Now, like I said, my name is Keon Carniff. Some people know me as Mr. Finance. And one of the good things about me is that I am quite young, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm 31 years old. You know, I'm a father of 5 beautiful kids. I have 2 boys, 3 beautiful girls. And you know, before this campaign, I used to actually work 3 jobs. I did this from 3:45 in the morning till 11:30 at night. That was my schedule until I got introduced to our beautiful campaign. And you know, this campaign really changed my life because you know, it was 2 things that motivated me. It was my kids and my parent and my mom. You know, those were my 2 motivations to really be a part of this campaign and learn a lot more about understanding how money works. So, you know, just to give you a little background about who we are as a company. Our parent company is called Aegon, which is based in the Netherlands. They've been around since 1844. And Aegon wanted to make an expansion into North America, so they bought the company called Transamerica, which serves as our financial department today. They've actually been established since 1904, founded by a gentleman named A.P. Giannini. And then Aegon also bought another company called World Financial Group, which is a marketing and distribution company. And pretty much they represent over 70 plus financial companies that you know out there. Companies like Nationwide, the John Hancocks, the Gerbers, you know, you guys know a lot of these companies. We represent them. And the division that I'm a part of is called World System Builders, which is our educational department. And this is where we've launched our national campaign for financial literacy. And our goal is to educate 1 million families by the end of this year. And that's why today it's so important for us to talk about money. Now, one of the things about money is that it is, like I said, it's very misunderstood. And the thing is that while our campaign is so important is because of 3 major crises that families are facing. Now, families is known to face what is called the education crisis, where the kids are going to schools, tuition costs keep rising, and student loans is getting bigger. You know, we also have what's called the retirement crisis, where a lot of people can't stay retired, or they weren't properly funded, or they didn't plan enough. Then we have a spending crisis. If you look at our country's national debt right now, over $20+ trillion and growing every day. Do you understand that our country is spending more money than it actually earns, which actually results in us losing value of our currency? All right, so these are some of the things that we had to talk about, and that's why we share with families concepts, right? We sit down with families and we teach them concepts so that way they can understand how to properly learn how to manage their own money and take control of their future. See, that's the reason why our goal is to teach you how to learn finance 101, so that way you can learn how to save your future. And learning to save your future is by you understanding the basic principles of how to build a financial foundation. Now, this book is so powerful in how we're changing families' lives, and that's what I'm going to go over with you. Now, this is going to be very quick. It's going to be less than 20 minutes to go through what I want to tell you, and for you to get a better understanding of how to properly learn and understand finance. Finance is not complicated. It's not a whole bunch of numbers. It is quite easy to grasp. Now, let me give you a little bit of statistics, right? Let's talk about just a little bit of numbers. And it says here, according to a recent survey, they said North Americans are facing serious financial challenges. Now, they said in Canada, 35% of Canadians do not have any savings for retirement. It says here, only 27% of private sector workers have employer-funded pension plans. And it even go on to say that the average savings in a registered retirement savings plan, which is known as a RRSP in Canada, is only about $55,000. So that's the problem that's going on over in Canada right now. But they said, compared to Canada, they said the US, the picture is even gloomier. They said that 33% or more than 77 million Americans don't pay their bills on time. They said that 39% carry credit card debt from month to month. And they said that only 59% of adults say they have savings. And it says worse, more than half now think it's acceptable to default on their mortgage if they can't afford to pay for it. These are the things that's happening now in America. These are the numbers that's happening in America, and we got to think about what can we do to make a difference. Now, my question to you is, how many people you know that is going through some of these things? And here's another question: who's helping them? Who's helping the people that you know going through these, can't pay they can't save, they're not able to get out of their debt? Who's helping them? That's where our National Financial Literacy Campaign comes in and play a very important role, because we provide a lot to you. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about our workshops too, but before that, I just want to break down what is our intentions for you and your family, right? Now, every family that I sit down with, I have an intention. I have 4 intentions. My intention is to help you learn how to make money. I want to show you how to make money. We have a beautiful campaign. We help you to learn how to make some extra income on a part-time basis. We're also going to teach you how to save money. We're also going to show you how you could grow your money. We're also going to teach you how you can protect your money, because it's so important for us to learn these fundamentals. Now, the way we teach families how to do these things is by teaching them how to create a financial foundation. Now, creating a financial foundation is like creating a house, right? And the thing that you got to understand, that you got to build a solid financial foundation. So you got to build it from the ground up. Now, the thing is that you got to require is that you got to learn how to build this properly. You see right here, we don't start with the roof in our house. You got to start with a solid financial foundation. So the first thing you got to put together is proper protection. Now, putting together proper protection, it says you should actually have proper protection in the event of disability, health problems, or premature death. You got to have things in place and prepare for any of these events. You see, one of the things that I've learned about my mentor, he said that it's either you got to plan for 2 things in your life. It's either you live too long or you die too soon. The question is, are you prepared for either one? The next thing is, you got to get into debt management. It says that you should reduce your liability and get out of debt. You got to do that as quick as possible. We teach families how to do that. We also teach families how to create an emergency fund. You see, you should set aside 3 to 6 months of your income to deal with some changes in your job or business, or to pay unforeseen accidents, or to make repairs. These things are so important for you to learn to do. And that's why, we teach families how to do this. The next thing we teach families is also how to invest. You know, one of the things I tell people about investment is that if you understand the 3 ways your money gets taxed when you need your investment, you know where to put your own money. Because when it comes to investment, you should save and invest for the long run, right? Don't be an emotional investor. You lose a lot of money this way. And that's why all these tasks should be taken care of possible. So when we sit down with families, we go there and we try to show them, and we're going to teach you how to actually prepare a financial foundation and create a proper financial foundation, and a solid one. Now, in order for you to build a solid financial foundation, you also got to understand how money works. It's important for you to learn the wealth formula. Now, the wealth formula is pretty much this, right? The wealth formula says you need money plus time plus or minus rate of return. You got to understand how this will work for you or work against you. And then you got to minus inflation, minus tax, and that equals wealth. Now, once you understand that concept and that theory, that wealth building requires all of these things and these components, then you got to apply them. So that's the reason why we have money talks with families. You see, when it comes to money, people always ask, where's the money? And it says a good number of people always seem to have these money problems. They say most of the time, they're short on funds. Now, if you would have listened to Warren Buffett, who's one of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett says, don't save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So what we're encouraging families to do is that we need you to save, because we want to teach you how to build a proper financial foundation, but you got to understand how money works. But you got to understand money by learning the wealth formula. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to break down the wealth formula for you today and show you how easy it is to learn how to build wealth. Now, let's talk about it. Now, the first thing in the formula it says is money, right? Now, the idea about money is that we got to pay ourselves first. Are you paying yourself first? Because it says here, you need to set aside 5 to 10% of your income to save for the future. If possible, save 15% or more. So you got to treat it like a bill that you must pay, and you got to pay that first, because that's your family's financial bill. My question to you is, doesn't it make sense to pay your family first before you pay other people's bills? Is your cable TV more important than your family's financial well-being? See, you got to understand that you got to buy only what you need. And that's the reason why you got to learn how to make these small changes if you want to have big money. You see, one of the things I said is that spending is a habit, but so is saving. What if you could make small changes to your spending habits and just start saving $10 a day? Did you know if you save $10 a day, which is about $300 a month, and you was able to find a vehicle that give you 8% in over a 30-year period, and you was able to do this, did you know that $300 a month over a 30-year period, getting 8% interest on it would actually earn $447 plus thousand dollars. What if you were able to say a little bit disciplined? You got a little bit more discipline and you was able to save $20 a day. $20 a day, which is $600 a month, and over a 30-year period, getting 8% on that money, you would have accumulated over $894 plus thousand dollars. My question to you is, which one would you want for your retirement? Close to $500,000 or close to 900,000? The choice is yours. So every time you think about spending $10 a day, think that you're spending almost $500,000. Every time you think about spending $20 a day, just think about the fact that you're spending almost close to $900,000. Once again, it's how you think. So that's the reason why you got to understand something about time. You see, time is money. And one of the things about savings and building wealth, they say that procrastination is the enemy of saving. You can't wait till tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. You got to plan for today. You got to do for today. You got to take action right now. And that's the other reason why we're going to talk about rate of return. Now, what is it about the rate of return that is so important for you to understand? Now, rate of return, anytime you hear me use the word rate of return, think of the word interest. I want you to think of the word interest. It means the same thing. Now, the thing that we're going to talk about a little bit, though, is something called the magic of compound interest. Now, this is one of the most important discovery in finance. It's something called the Rule of 72. It shows you how to calculate the effect of compound interest with a very simple formula. It is something called Rule of 72, which was created by Albert Einstein. Now, here's what Albert Einstein said. He said if you take 72 and you divide it by the rate of return, the answer is the number of years it takes for your money to double. Just to give you an idea. Let's say that if you find somewhere that is giving you 4% on your money, right? Now, 72, you divide it by that 4. Let me show you. You do like this. You take 72 divided by the 4, and that equals 18. Now, remember what the rule said. If you take 72, you divide it by the interest on your money, that equals the amount of years it takes for your money to double. Now, here's where it works for you and against you. Did you know that also work against you? So anywhere that you borrow money, or if you use on your credit card, you take out a loan, you put on your mortgage, you finance your car, any interest on the money, it will then determine how many years that money will take for double against you, or whatever the balance is. So you got to do your calculation using the Rule of 72. So the Rule of 72, it pretty much unveils the powerful impact of compound interest on money, but it also unveils two types of people. And you got to think about which one do you identify yourself with. Now, the first type of people it identifies, it talks about people who don't understand how money works and they end up working for money. And then they also have people who understand how money works and they let money work for them. Well, which one are you? Right? So it says here, wealthy people tend to spend time learning and understanding how money works, and they look for advice and solutions to get better rate of return on their money. That's one of the things that wealthy people care about. What is the rate of return? What kind of interest am I getting on my money, and how quickly can it grow in that department? And that's why it's very important for you to understand the Rule of 72, so that way you can learn how to calculate the time it will take. The next thing that we got to understand is something known as a silent killer, which is known as inflation. Now, on the formula, it says it's a minus, and I'll tell you why. Now, inflation is the rise in price of goods and services over time. It says when the prices increases, your purchasing power decreases. For example, if the inflation rate was at 3.5%, that means your $100 today will only be worth $96.50 the next year. Did you also know that inflation happens when a country prints more money than it actually earns? And the result is that everybody will lose some value of their money. Some refer to inflation as a hidden tax. Did you know that? And it says that inflation plays a major factor to consider when you're building up your financial future. For instance, if you put money in an account with a zero rate of return, its value will certainly decline in the long run. So they said in the last 100 years, from 1914 to 2014, the U.S. inflation rate averaged at 3.32%. Did you know that? Now let me give you some numbers and some understanding what that means for your money. Let's say that you plan to retire with $4,000 per income in today's value. Did you know just 20 years later, at a 3% inflation rate, you will need to have $7,224 per month to maintain the same purchasing power? My question to you again, are you prepared for it? Or do you think you should save and spend less? What do you think? Right? So here's the other thing that you got to understand. Taxes. Now, if you remember, On the formula, it says taxes is a minus. Now, the reason why taxes is a minus is because many of us don't understand the three ways that your money get taxed. If you understand taxes, you know where to put your own money. Now, the three ways your money get taxed. Did you know this? Your money get taxed now, your money get taxed later, and your money also get tax advantage. Now, where does your money go, right? That's why we're going to look at the following tax treatment on different type of investment accounts in the U.S. Now, in the U.S., they said 85% of the population put their money where they get taxed now. Tax now is in their checking accounts, savings accounts, CDs, stocks, and mutual funds. Then you have 10% of the population that use tax later vehicles. Tax later vehicles are things like your 401ks, your 403bs, IRAs, SEP IRAs, annuities, and pensions. And then you have where 5% of the population use tax advantage. Now, tax advantage vehicles are things like your Roth IRA, 529 college savings plan, and in municipal bonds, health savings account, life insurance, and long-term care benefits. Now, the problem is that, yes, you may have heard of these things, but do you understand how they work? Now, let me break those down for you. Now, tax later. Tax now actually means that the money you put in or any earnings from these accounts, you must report and pay tax for that year. For example, you must report and pay tax on the earnings from your savings accounts, any certificates of deposits, which are known as CDs, any dividends from a stocks, mutual funds, and money market funds must report and pay tax. All right, every year. Now, tax later, where 10% of the population use. Tax later tax later means that the money you put in is known as pre-tax. Now, pre-tax money deposited in an account is money that you have not yet paid income tax on, but you'll definitely pay taxes later when you withdraw it. These accounts are also called tax deferred, and in the US, tax deferred commonly take the form of, like I said, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, and so on. Now, also in the US, did you know that when you begin to take your money out after 59 and a half, you'll be taxed as ordinary income tax rates, which means that you're going to be taxed as if that you're still working in a sense. So you get a better understanding. It says, but if you take the money out before 59 and a half, you will get a 10% penalty with a few exceptions in addition to paying taxes. So just to give you an idea, if you take out $10,000, they're going to tax you 10% on that 10,000, right? They're going to penalize you 10%, and then you got to pay taxes also on that 10,000. They minus both of those and the remainder of yours. But at the end of the year, you got to claim that you took 10,000, right? Because remember, ordinary income. All right. Also, you got to know that you can't keep your money there forever. You must start with withdrawing it when you reach 70 and a half, or you're going to pay a 50% penalty. Now, a bit of good news. Due to the Secure Act that was passed January 1st, they actually changed the RMD age to 72. But the thing is that you don't know if your company is going to honor that you're already grandfathered in underneath the 70 and a half. The thing is that you must find out from your company, are they going to go by the Secure Act that was passed January 1st, or are you just grandfathered in underneath the 70 and a half from the old way? All right, so that's something that you should know. Then you have tax advantage, where 5% of the population use. Now, tax advantage means that you generally won't pay tax when you withdraw the money from your account. Tax advantage investment money is after tax money because you already pay taxes on it. So things like your Roth IRA, your 529 college savings plan, and life insurance are popular investment vehicles that get tax exempt distribution. So basically what I'm saying is that when you understand taxes, are basically from breaking all of this down, the three ways your money get taxed: now, later, and tax advantage. My question to you is, how do you want to be taxed in your retirement? Do you want to pay taxes now, later, or tax advantage? The choice is yours, right? So once you understand the wealth formula, like I just break down to you, and understanding how to create a financial foundation, how do you feel about wealth building? Do you feel you could build wealth? Do you feel a little bit more confident? Do you feel like you have an idea now? Because, when it comes to retirement savings and wealth building, it's a numbers game. It's all a numbers game, guys. It's simple math and it's simple understanding. You see, when it comes to money plus time, plus or minus rate of return, minus inflation, minus tax, and how that equals wealth, you just got to understand that. You got to look at the wealth formula, and pretty much it shows you a guide to build wealth. It's a guide. It's really just a guide. And if you apply what the knowledge is trying to tell you and the information that is sharing with you, you too could build your type of wealth. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be a billionaire or millionaire. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the numbers, and it all starts with what are you paying yourself first, right? But you got to make sure that before you get to that stage, you got to build a proper financial foundation. Because once again, do you have proper protection in place? Do you have a management on your debt? Do you create an emergency fund? And then we get to the investment side of it. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the money, though, what we're trying to tell you to do is that we're trying to tell you that you need to spend less, save more. When it comes to time, all we tell you is that you got to invest your money long enough to allow the interest to compound and the wealth to potentially build up. When it comes to the rate of return, all we're letting you know is that the rate of return is very important. Oh man, it is so important what kind of interest you get in money. You ever hear the saying, it's not what you earn that matters, but it's what you keep? But realistically, it's the amount of interest that you get that you're getting on what you're keeping that is so important. And then the next thing, when it comes to inflation, your money must be earning a rate of return higher than inflation. You got to know, you got to always calculate what the inflation will be. And then the next thing, tax. When it comes to taxes, all we're telling you is that look for investment vehicles that have tax advantage, so that way you don't have to worry about paying taxes when you need your money. You see the result, if you follow the formula and follow the guide, the result is wealth and your future retirement. You see, many people understand these concepts and work on it, and we want to let you know that you can do the same thing. So that's the reason why we give families access to here. We give families access to our Financial Foundation Education Program. And this program is where you get access to one of our books. And why we want to teach is because this is what our national campaign is all about. Our goal is to educate you and give you the power for you to become your own money manager. Now, here's the thing. My question to you is money controlling you, or do you feel you control money? Right? That's my question to you. Because did you know with our Financial Foundation Education Program, you will learn how to do the following things. You will learn how to make money work better for you. You will find and save more money. You also understand investments and wealth building. And you also learn how to protect and preserve your wealth. You see, you will become your own money manager. That's our goal. That's our mission for you. It's to help you become your own money manager. You will learn the habits of successful people. And the way you learn these habits is by understanding and coming to our financial literacy workshops, so that way you can learn the fundamentals. We provide to you 5 workshops. 5 workshops. And these 5 workshops, workshop 1 will teach you how to actually increase your cash flow and how to manage your debt. And workshop 2, we're going to teach you how to build a strong financial foundation and how to put together proper protection for you and your family. And workshop 3, we're going to talk about wealth building and actually asset accumulation. And workshop 4, we're going to talk about retirement planning and wealth preservation. And workshop 5, we even teach you how to build a business in the financial industry, so that way you can learn how to make some more money on a part-time basis, right? So you can master the basics in 30 days within our financial literacy workshops. And that's the thing that we have for you here. So here's the good news. Now, I just want to tell you why we're doing what we're doing. You see, our mission is to build and protect wealth for families, especially you and your family. You see, we want to help people move from financial insecurity to financial independence. You see, our vision, we have a very big vision. You see, our vision is to build a new industry with 1 million financial educators, 1 million campaigners worldwide, and we want to revolutionize the financial industry to help resolve the customer dilemma, lack of understanding, planning, and support that families been receiving and not receiving. We want to give families that type of leverage and understanding. That's the reason why I'm such a proud world system builders, and that's why I do it right and I do it with pride, because our goal is to empower you. I must tell you, this campaign have really changed my life, and I really hope it did the same thing for you, and I hope it will do so much more for you and your family. Our goal is to keep empowering you and give you, like I said, the knowledge, the understanding, and the planning that you and your family need. So at the end of the day, I just have 4 more questions for you. Where do you see yourself in our campaign? Do you see yourself as an educator with us? Do you see yourself as a client that want to get a financial checkup? Or do you see yourself as a student? You may want to go to our workshop program. Or maybe you see yourself as someone that would love to continue referring people to us, so that way we could continue to educate people on your behalf. I would love to know where you see yourself in our campaign. My name is Keon Corniff, also known as Mr. Finance. And once again, thank you for staying on, and our goal is to continue teaching, and we want to educate. Let us know who can we educate for you on your behalf. I'll talk to you guys soon. Alright, so there you have it, guys. As always, I appreciate you guys for always tuning in, always listening, always share. Remember to always leave a comment below here. Remember to like and subscribe. Make sure to tell a friend to tell a friend. And I appreciate you guys always supporting and always being a part of this movement and this journey. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, man. And always remember, you're one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember, the choice is always yours. All right. My name is Keon Corniff, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator. And guys, I want to welcome you to always come by, share some love, comment below, let us know what you think. I love you guys. Stay awesome. Stay great. I'll see you on the next one. All right. God bless. Peace.
I am Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator, the best of the best, the one and only Mr. Finance.
Remember to hit subscribe right now. Subscribe.